So, before I go on any further, huge thank you to everyone that did play in the Jerry Cup for both Australia and Southeast Asia. I'll put the a little graphic with the podiums and the players who, they did well. So congratulations to those that did end up winning or, putting themselves on the podium. And it was a really nice tournament. I think it was quite successful. I genuinely enjoyed TOing it. I genuinely enjoyed casting it. Fun time overall. So I guess a good place to start with all this is, I think my first ever tournament that I ever hosted was in June of 2021. It was a 1v1. It was like $20. And it was, I believe it was actually Asmodi that ended up winning that, which was, kind of ironic now that I think about it, as she's won the most recent one as well, for Oz at least. But since that tournament that I've hosted that long ago, I've learnt a lot of things, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. Just overall, really, it's nice to learn about a lot of the stuff. And I think I've definitely grown since then, I've definitely grown as a person and as a TO, in this game, which I think is quite nice. So, the main reason why I run the tournaments, is because I think very early on, when I started playing Brawl, maybe not super early on, maybe 8 months, 9 months in, I noticed there wasn't a lot of tournaments, and I think I was watching, I think I might have been watching Moose Wars at the time, and I was like, hang on a minute, where's an Australian one? Because it was only NA players at the time. It was only NA players, and I was like, oh, they're any Oz ones, and I think I talked to AJ about it, and he was like, oh, I don't know, I don't think there are. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll host it, I don't know. Because I know 2020, there was a lot more tournaments for Australia, and then since then, it kind of died out. It's only been recent that I've expanded to Southeast Asia as well, which I think was quite nice. The tournaments, by the way, they used to be coming straight out of my pocket, which now it's a little more difficult. But having BCTI accept the tournaments, I honestly think is quite huge, which it's nice to see. It's nice to see that, like, just from our perspective, a lot of players, I think when I mentioned that it was going to be sponsored, a lot of players were surprised by it. Which I kind of understand why you would be surprised by it, right? Because a lot of people, especially in this region, think that we don't get a chance. And there's a lot of people from outside of the Aussie community that think that Australia and Southeast Asia don't really deserve a chance. But I think that's entirely false, because if you look at Dummy obviously being a former Australian player, moved to England, I believe, and he finished 9th in the Summer 1v1s, which Dummy just kind of proves we're not a bad region, we just don't have enough players to be super competitive, and which, is the sad part, but the tournaments, someone's got to host them, and I'm happy with hosting them. So my future plans for Brawl, for Jerry Cup, for Oz, and for C. Oh wow. My future plans is I want to be able to host at least, I want to try bi-monthly events, whether they are regular tournaments, whether they're invitationals. I've even had the thoughts of like Arcadians as well. Players that are like below a certain PR that don't exactly get much of a chance to get given one. I was thinking like maybe a 16 player, which is possible. I also want to be able to get a side stream, but I basically have to double the amount of staff that I do now. Which, speaking of staff, I do have actually a couple people to thank. I have to thank Bucket, Vinny, Hatpost, and Lichgo for casting. In this most recent tournament, I have to thank Lichgo as well for being a bracket mod for me, which was huge. I have to thank Drac and Yumi or Candy, you might want to know her as, for making the graphics, which was really nice. And a lot of this, I have to mention, is volunteer work as well. They're willing to do this for not only for me but for the regions as well. They're genuinely willing to put in time and effort with me to make Jerry Cup what it is, which is really, I'm really happy about that. That it gives a little bit of hope, you know. But I think in the future I will definitely be looking to host more tournaments, and I will be looking to expand my staff list. Which, if you're interested in that, honestly, like, hit me up, let me know, and I'll see what I can pull out, you know? So, I think my main goals, especially for Oz and C, is, one is to give players decent practice. I want players to, you know, sign up to the tournaments. I want them to be able to practice, have fun with it as well. Whichever one the player wants to prioritize, that is entirely their option. I want to be able to not only give the players a place to practice, but be able to give viewers a spectacle. I want people from other regions, from, you know, North America, from Europe, from South America even, to be able to watch Jerry Cup and just be like, hang on, this is kinda good, you know? Like, kinda good. I don't really care if they, like, shit on their gameplay, if they shit on our gameplay, but if they, you know, appreciate the work that's been put in, ooh, that doesn't kill me, then that is something that I'm really happy about. I think what made me super happy is that there's a streamer, North American streamer by the name of Sox, and he did an Australian, he did a watch party of Jerry Cup. Actually, he did a watch party for the Oz regions, and, you know, Sox the entire time was really intrigued with it. There were people in the chat just like they were really impressed by the level that the players were playing at. They seem to really enjoy the gameplay, and, you know, these are players from other regions as well, which I'm super happy about. That is a goal that I want to work towards, you know. I don't care if our gameplay is worse than, you know, North America or Europe, as long as the players get practice, and as long as there are other players out there that, you know, are getting retention and people wanting to watch, you know, whether it is a North American or an EU player, they want to watch. That is what makes me happy as well, you know. Instead of them being completely dismissive, I want them to want to give Oz and C a chance, which is that's one of my goals. When I'm going to host my next tournament, my guess is probably December or January. It'll definitely be after BCX. That will probably be my next open tournament. Will be, I want to say, around then. Oh, they binned. Never mind, I binned. But yeah, I would definitely say around then is when I want to host the next tournament. I will obviously have to get it through BCTI again. As in, you know, because we can't just be accepted once, but definitely, I believe getting the first submission will definitely help. Probably could have gotten a second jump. I think. But yeah, I really want to push the Australian and the Southeast Asian scene forward. I really want to make sure that, you know, players still want to play and everything runs smoothly with the tournaments. The best I can do is make sure the tournament runs smoothly, and make sure that people enjoy playing and enjoy watching. That is all for me. Thank you for those who played, thank you for those who watched, thank you for those who helped me throughout, and I will see you later. Bye bye.